Hi, I'm Sarah. My son Ethan is in the ICU right now, hooked up to machines, barely breathing after a freak accident that flipped our whole world upside down. And here I am, back in Port Haven, Maine, my hometown, where every street corner whispers memories I've tried to forget. My parents, they're hiding something about Willow House, our old family home. And then there's Lila. She was my best friend once, but the version of her I found here, she's a stranger. And her betrayal, it cut deeper than I thought it would. Before I get too deep into this, I'd love to know, where are you watching from? Seriously, write your city or country in the comments. And if you've ever dealt with family pressure or guilt-tripping relatives, hit that like button and subscribe. It helps more than you think and lets me keep telling stories that matter. The hospital smell always gets me: disinfectant, old coffee, and that cold scent of fear. Ethan's in room 304, lying still, machines beeping around him like some slow countdown. His chest rises and falls, way too slow for a 12-year-old who should be outside skateboarding or sneaking cookies. I sit by his bed, holding his tiny cold hand. Outside, rain taps against the window, blurring the gray outline of Port Haven. It's 2025, but this town still feels stuck in the past: weathered houses, quiet streets, and nosy neighbors who treat your life like it's a TV show they can't stop watching. I grew up here, in Willow House. It's this old Victorian with a wraparound porch and windows that rattle in the wind. The house feels alive. It creaks and groans like it's whispering secrets when the sun goes down. My parents, Maggie and Tom, always said it would be mine someday, a safe place for me and Ethan. But now, out of nowhere, they're talking about selling it. Retirement plans, big travel dreams, Europe or Asia maybe. It doesn't make sense. They love that place. Why sell it now when Ethan's in the hospital and I need something to hold on to? I'm scrolling through my phone to distract myself when Mom calls. Olivia, we need to talk, she says, her voice tight. Can you come to the house tonight? Lila's here. Lila, my old best friend. She stayed in Port Haven while I left for Boston, trying to build a life that ended up falling apart. She's a realtor now, polished, professional, always smiling. I haven't seen much of her since I came back a month ago. Just hearing her name feels off, wrong, like something's not right. Okay, I say, looking over at Ethan. Dr. Patel, the nurse, comes in to check his chart. She's been kind, solid. Keeps saying Ethan's stable, but stable doesn't feel real when your kid won't wake up. I kiss Ethan on the forehead and tell him I'll be back soon. Then I step out into the rain. Willow House stands at the end of a gravel driveway, paint peeling and looking tired. The big oak tree out front sways with the wind, its branches clawing at the sky. Inside, the place still smells like Mom's lavender candles mixed with Dad's old pipe tobacco. They're sitting at the dining table, and Lila's there too. Her blonde hair's pulled back, makeup perfect, smile too bright for how gloomy it feels inside. Olivia, good to see you, Lila says, standing to hug me. I don't move. Her hug feels fake. Dad's staring at his coffee like it has answers. And Mom's twisting her bracelet like she always does when she's nervous. What's going on? I ask, dropping my wet jacket over a chair. The house feels colder than usual, like it knows something I don't. Dad clears his throat. We're selling Willow House, Olivia. We already have a buyer lined up. We need the money to retire. My stomach drops. You always said this place was for the family, for me and Ethan. He loves it here. He plays in the attic. He knows every corner. Mom won't look at me. Things change, honey. We didn't want to burden you. Burden? I lean forward, my hands on the table. Ethan's in the ICU. I need this house somewhere to come back to. You can't just sell it. There's more, Lila says, her voice smooth but sharp. Your parents changed their will. I'm a co-heir to Willow House. I blink. What? It's true, Mom says quietly. Dad doesn't even look up. Why? Lila's not family. Why would you put her in the will? It's complicated. Mom mumbles. How? I snap. You never mentioned her before. What changed? Lila looks uncomfortable, tightening her grip on her glass. I didn't ask for this, Olivia. I didn't know until recently. Yeah, right, I say. The air in the room feels like it's about to explode. Just then, The doorbell rings. It's sharp, loud, and makes everyone jump. Dad gets up slowly, like he already knows it's bad news. He opens the door, and a man steps inside, tall, sharp suit, gray hair, eyes that don't miss a thing. Evening, he says. I'm Victor Crane, attorney. We need to discuss Willow House. There's a title issue. What issue? I ask, standing now, the chair scraping the floor behind me. Crane smiles, but his eyes stay cold. An old deed suggests your parents might not have full ownership. I'm representing a party who may have a claim. Who, I demand. I'll explain more tomorrow, he says, polite but firm. Mom looks like she's about to faint. Dad's face is blank. Lila won't meet my eyes. I drive back to the hospital in the rain. Heart pounding, windshield wipers clicking like a heartbeat I can't trust. My mind's racing. Ethan's still in that hospital bed, and now this Willow House might not even belong to us. And Lila, somehow she's in the will. My best friend, turned stranger, tied up in this whole mess. The betrayal stings worse than I expected. I park, rush through the automatic doors, and head straight to room 304 to Ethan. It's quiet to quiet. I sit beside him, take his hand and whisper, I'm here, buddy, but my brain's still stuck on that lawyer Victor Crane. Who the hell is he working for? And what does he mean by a claim on the house? I glance at the clock on the wall. 2 o'clock. No messages from Mom or Dad. Lila's silent too. Typical. Sleep doesn't come. I sit there in that hospital chair, drifting between memories and panic, until the sun starts peeking through the clouds. That's when I remember Mrs. Hawthorne. She's lived next door to Willow House forever. Knows every piece of gossip this town's ever had. If anyone knows what's really going on, it's her. By 7:30 a.m. I'm back on the road. Mrs. Hawthorne's house is exactly the same. Same rose bushes climbing over the porch railing, same squeaky gate, same porch swing that groans when the wind picks up. I knock. The door creaks open, and there she is, gray hair in a bun, big glasses, eyes sharp like she already knows why I'm here. Olivia Thompson, she says, looking me up and down. Heard you were back. Come in. Don't stand there like a ghost. Inside. It smells like tea and old paper. Everything's neatly arranged, framed photos, doilies on every surface. She waves me toward the couch and pours tea I didn't ask for. So she says, sitting down across from me, You're here about the house. I nod. My parents are selling it. There's some guy saying they don't fully own it. And Lila's suddenly in the will. No one's telling me anything. Mrs. Hawthorne leans back in her chair, tapping her fingers against the mug. That house has always been a bit cursed, if you ask me. Built in 1890 by a ship captain. It's changed hands more than most folks know. Your parents bought it in the 80s. Got it cheap too. That raised some eyebrows. Why cheap? Because the last owner, Clara Reed, Lila's grandmother, died in it. Heart attack, they said. But people around here whispered it was grief. Her husband, Amos, ran off years before. Left her with debt and a daughter, Diane. I blink. Lila's mom? Yep, Diane Reed. She and your father. Well, let's just say they were more than just neighbors once. Before your mom came into the picture, I feel my stomach twist. Wait, are you saying my dad had a thing with Lila's mom? Mrs. Hawthorne doesn't flinch. Everyone in town knew. Tom and Diane were close. Too close. He was older. She was barely 20. People talked. Then it ended. Tom married your mom. Diane stayed with Clara until she passed. Why would she give up the house? She didn't really have a choice. She was young, broke, grieving. Your dad stepped in, paid some debts, and got the deed. But Clara's name was never fully cleared off it. There's always been questions. Now I really feel sick. You think that's what this Crane guy's after? I ask. Could be. If the title was never cleaned up, someone could try to challenge it, especially if they're tied to the Reeds and Lila. She shrugs. Lila was just a kid when all that went down. But she's her mother's daughter, smart, determined. And if she smells injustice, she'll act. I thank her and head out. My head spinning. My dad had an affair. Bought Willow House from the woman he broke. And now there's legal stuff. That could make the wholesale invalid. I feel like I'm drowning. Back at the hospital, Dr. Patel is standing outside Ethan's room. He's still stable, she says. No change. Stable. That word again. It means nothing. I sit by Ethan and hold his hand. I think about Dad's blank stare, Mom's nervous fiddling, Lila's cold expression. And Crane, what does he know that I don't? Then my phone buzzes. It's Jake. My brother. Jake. In town. Let's talk. Of course he is. Jake has a radar for drama and opportunity. He's never around unless there's money or chaos to sniff out. I text back. Where? He responds right away. Jake. Docks. 11 a.m. The docks are quiet. The air smells like salt and fish. Jake's leaning against a post, cigarette in hand. Same cocky smile he's had since high school. Hey sis. He says like nothing's wrong. You look like hell. Thanks. You look the same, I say, folding my arms. I heard about Ethan, he adds, serious for a second. Sorry. I not ready to get into it. What do you know about the house? I ask, cutting to the point. He shrugs. Only what I've heard. Dad bought it from Diane Reed after her mom died. Everyone said it was shady. And now this Crane guy's in town. I bet he's working for someone tied to the Reeds. You know about Dad and Diane? Of course I do. He told me when I was like 16. They were a thing. Got messy. Mom always pretended it didn't happen. I shake my head. Why didn't anyone tell me? Jake looks at me like I'm stupid. Because you were the golden child. You and Ethan. No one wanted to mess that up. Do you think Lila's behind this? He snorts. Lila's always been clever. If she smells a payday, she might be. But more likely, someone related to Amos or Clara is trying to come back for what they think is theirs. I lean back against the railing. This house, it's not just a building. It's Ethan's anchor. I can't lose it. Jake stubs out his cigarette. Then fight for it. But be careful. People don't dig up old titles unless they're ready to burn everything down. Back at the hospital, I sit beside Ethan again. My phone buzzes. This time it's from Lila. Lila, we need to talk. Pier, 2 p.m. I stare at the message. After everything, she still thinks we can talk. Fine, I'll go. But I'm not going to. Play nice. I stand on the pier, checking my phone again. 1:55 p.m. The wind off the bay is sharp, carrying the smell of salt and rotting seaweed. I don't know if Lila's setting me up or trying to make things right. Either way, I need answers. She shows up right at 2 o'clock. Same polished black coat, boots, hair tied up neatly. She walks toward me slowly, carefully, like she knows I'm on edge. Thanks for coming, she says. I fold my arms. Didn't come for small talk, she sighs. I didn't know Crane was going to show up that night. Your parents asked me to help them sell Willow House, then dropped the bomb about putting me in the will. I was just as shocked as you. You didn't seem shocked. I say, I was trying to keep it together. She replies, looking out at the water. I figured I'd find out more before saying anything. You should have told me the moment you found out, I say. We were best friends. Ethan calls you Aunt Lila. I know, she says, her voice breaking slightly. And I'm sorry. But your dad. There's more to this than you think. My mom, Diane, she always said your dad promised her more than just love. She thought he was going to marry her. Then he left. Got with your mom. Took the house. I shake my head. What do you mean? Promised her more. She said Willow House was supposed to be hers. Lila says that they planned to build a life there. Now I'm spinning. Are you saying she thought it belonged to her? That dad promised it to her? Lila shrugs. That's what she told me. I didn't believe her. Until Crane showed up. I stare out at the gray water. So what now? She looks at me dead serious. We find out the truth. All of it. Together. We leave the pier with nothing solved and even more questions piling up. Lila's words keep circling in my head. Her mom believed Dad promised her Willow House. That they were supposed to start a life together there. I want to call it delusional. But deep down, I know it's not that simple. This mess didn't start yesterday. It's been building for decades. And now it's crashing down on me when I'm already drowning. I drive straight back to the hospital. Ethan's still unconscious, but he looks more peaceful than yesterday. The nurse says there hasn't been any change. I sit beside him, holding his hand, rubbing my thumb over his knuckles like I used to when he was little and couldn't sleep. I talk to him softly. You know what, kid? Adults really screw things up sometimes. We carry secrets and make decisions that come back around way later, when they hit people who had nothing to do with it. Like you. I pause, blinking fast. But I'm gonna fix it. I swear. A shadow moves outside the doorway. I look up. Dr. Patel steps in, holding a clipboard, her face calm as always. How's he doing, really? I ask. She hesitates. Still stable. He's holding on. That's all we can ask for right now. I nod. But I hate that answer. Do you think stress makes it worse? Like the way I feel right now. Does he feel it too? She gives me a small smile. He knows you're here. That matters more than you realize. Later that evening, I go back to Willow House. I don't know what I'm looking for exactly, answers, proof. Maybe something that connects all the pieces. The place looks darker than usual, even with the porch light on. I step inside and it hits me. This house doesn't feel like home anymore. It feels like a stage where everyone's been performing roles, lying to each other, covering up things. The air inside is heavy with the scent of old wood, lavender candles, and something else, dust, maybe. Or secrets. I head upstairs. My parents aren't home. I don't bother calling them. I need time alone in this place. I remember the attic. That was Dad's storage area for old stuff, papers, boxes, old junk. The staircase creaks as I head up, flashlight in hand. The attic's even colder than the rest of the house. I pull the chain for the overhead light and start digging. Box after box, full of boring paperwork and broken holiday decorations. Then, I find a brown leather binder marked Read 19821985. My pulse quickens. Inside are receipts, property agreements, and letters. At the bottom, there's a yellowed envelope with Diane's name written on it in my dad's handwriting. I sit on the floor, open it, and read. Diane, I'm sorry. I never wanted to hurt you. I panicked. Maggie was pregnant. I couldn't face everything falling apart. I know I said we'd build a life together. I meant it at the time. Please believe that. I'm working on the house. I'll make it right. My hands go cold. Pregnant? Maggie was pregnant? That means Mom was expecting me when Dad walked away from Diane. There's more. A few lines down. I'll pay off Clara's mortgage like I promised. I'm not taking the house from you, I'm protecting it for the baby. I drop the letter, my heart racing. What baby? I never knew Diane had a child. I grab my phone and call Jake. He answers on the second ring. Yo, did you know Diane had a baby? A long pause. Yeah, Dad told me once. Said she lost it after the breakup. Why? I pick up the letter again. Because this letter says he was doing all this for the baby. Jake doesn't speak right away. That letter's from when? 1983. Shit, he mutters. You think the baby lived? I don't know. But if Crane's here and pushing a title issue, and if that baby lived, he or she might be coming for the house now. That would explain a lot, Jake mumbles. I'll dig around, see what I can find out. You sure you're not already working with Crane? I snap. Jesus, Liv. No, I may be an ass, but I'm not a traitor. I want Ethan to be okay just as much as you do. I pause. All right, just keep me posted. Back at the hospital. The next day, things feel tense. The nurse says someone asked about Ethan earlier. A man said he was a friend of the family but didn't leave a name. I freeze. Did he leave anything? No, she says, but it made me uncomfortable. So I had him escorted out. Who the hell was that? Michael? Crane? Someone else. I text Lila.me. Someone asked about Ethan. Did you tell Michael where we are? Lila. No, I swear. I haven't spoken to him since the pier. Me. He knows. Someone was here asking for him. No reply. I take a break outside the hospital, pacing in the small parking lot when my phone rings. It's an unknown number. Hello? Olivia? Thompson? Yes. This is Victor Crane. I believe we need to talk. I grip the phone tighter. I'm not talking to you without a lawyer. I'm not calling to threaten you. I'm calling to offer an opportunity. My client would like to meet. No paperwork. No pressure. Just a conversation. Who's your client? I ask. A pause. Michael Reed. My throat tightens. The baby lived. He's not a baby anymore, Miss Thompson. That night, I sit in Ethan's hospital room, staring at his pale face. My son, my world is lying in this bed while everything else in my life unravels. A half-brother I never knew existed. A house that might not be ours. A lawyer circling us like a vulture. And Lila half in, half out. And I still don't know where she truly stands. I pull out the envelope with Diane's letters and read them again. Slower this time. One stands out. I know you love Maggie, but you love me too. You don't have to choose. Just be honest. Tell the truth before it's too late. It's dated 2 weeks before I was born. I stare at it, the words burning into me. So Dad was juggling 2 lives. One with my mom, pregnant with me. Another with Diane, pregnant too. The question I can't shake. Did he ever really plan to choose? The hospital lights buzz softly overhead while Ethan sleeps, his fingers twitching slightly in my hand. I can't stop staring at him. Everything in my life is a blur right now, but this right here is the only thing that feels solid. My kid, my reason for breathing, but my world is breaking apart piece by piece. Lila in the will. Dad's letters to Diane. A secret baby Michael Reed who's now a grown man and apparently my half-brother. And now, Victor Crane wants me to sit down with him? The last thing I want is to meet with Dad's mystery kid and some snake in a suit. But if it'll protect Ethan, I'll do it. I text Lila.me. Meeting with Crane tomorrow. Face to face. Michael will be there. She replies fast. Lila, are you sure that's safe? Me. Nope. But I need answers. The next morning, I leave Ethan in the care of Nurse Jenna and head out. I told her to call me if anything changes anything. I didn't tell her where I was going, but her eyes said she knew it wasn't good. The meeting's at a small, forgettable law office on the edge of town. The kind of place with fake plants, a dusty reception desk, and flickering ceiling lights. Crane's already waiting in a cheap suit that probably cost more than my car. His smile is all business, Miss Thompson. Glad you came. I didn't come for you, I say. Where's Michael? He gestures toward the conference room. I walk in, and there he is, Michael Reed. He's tall, mid-40s maybe, brown hair like Dad's, same serious eyes. He stands when I enter, then just studies me. There's no anger in his face, no warmth either. So, I say, sliding into the chair across from him, you're the baby my dad left behind. Michael doesn't flinch. I'm the son he erased. Crane clears his throat. Let's stay civil. Michael ignores him. I'm not here to blow things up, Olivia. I didn't come to Port Haven to fight. But I'm not walking away either. I fold my arms. You already caused enough damage just by showing up. Ethan, my son, is in the ICU. And now I have to explain why the house I grew up in may not even be ours. I'm sorry about your son, he says, and it sounds honest. I didn't know. Then what do you want? He leans forward. The truth. Some kind of justice. I grew up bouncing from foster home to foster home. Diane told me about your dad when I found her in my 20s right before she passed. She told me about Willow House. Said it was supposed to be mine too. That your dad made promises and then vanished. Then he took the house. You think that house is the answer to all of that? I ask. No. He says. But it's something. And Crane thinks we have a legal leg to stand on. The original deed was never cleaned up. Clara Reed's estate was never properly closed. Diane didn't have full authority to sell it. And your dad knew that. I glance at Crane. He nods like it's all perfectly reasonable. So what now? I ask. You want to take the house away from my son? Michael's eyes harden. I want what's owed. Crane jumps in. We're prepared to offer a settlement. You sell the house. Divide the profit. 50-50. I shake my head. You're out of your mind. That house is the only thing keeping me upright right now. I'm not trying to destroy your life, Michael says quietly. But this place, Port Haven, Willow House, it was my mother's dream. And it was stolen from her. I stand up, done with the meeting. I'll talk to a lawyer. I'm not agreeing to anything here. Crane gives me a card. Call if you change your mind. I drive straight to Willow House. It's time for answers from the people who could have told me the truth all along. My parents. They're in the kitchen when I walk in. Mom's cleaning the same spot on the counter for the 3rd time. Dad's staring into his coffee like it's about to answer him back. Who's Michael Reed? I ask, slamming the door behind me. Mom freezes. Dad doesn't look up. I met him. I continue. He's Diane's son. Your son, Mom sinks into a chair. You weren't supposed to know, Dad finally speaks, voice low. He wasn't supposed to exist. What the hell does that mean? I say, my voice rising. You knew Diane was pregnant. You wrote her letters. You said you were doing it all for the baby. I thought she lost him, he says. That's what she told me. She didn't. I snap. He was given up. Clara forced it. Diane didn't even know until years later. Mom whispers, Diane told me she miscarried. Did she? I ask, looking between them. Or did you just want to believe that because it was easier? No one answers. So that house you bought legit? I continue. You got it. Cheap because you were screwing Diane. Dumped her, then scooped up her house while she was grieving. It wasn't like that, Dad mumbles. Then explain it. I say. He looks up finally. I paid off her debts. She couldn't keep the house. I helped. You helped yourself. Mom covers her mouth. Tears run down her face. We made mistakes, Olivia. We didn't know what to do when Crane showed up. Putting Lila in the will. That was my idea. I thought it would fix something. You think naming Lila as a co-heir to the house is a fix? I say, shaking my head. You should have told me the truth before this blew up in my face. Mom sobs. I'm sorry, Dad's voice is quieter now. You think I'm proud of what I did? I grab my coat. No, but I think you let your guilt grow so big. It swallowed the rest of us. That night, I go back to the hospital. Ethan's awake. Barely. His eyes open slowly as I sit beside him. Mom, he whispers, his voice hoarse. I'm here, baby. I squeeze his hand, my throat tight. He tries to smile. I had a weird dream. You were fighting with Grandma. I blink, brushing his hair from his forehead. Yeah, it's been a weird week. Is it about the house? I pause. Yeah, but don't worry. I'm handling it. He closes his eyes again. Can we still go there when I get better? Of course, I say. I'll make sure of it. Back home. I sit in the living room, surrounded by boxes I pulled from the attic. I need to figure out if there's anything else I missed, documents, letters, records. I go through every file, but it's all the same stuff. Mortgage papers, receipts, property tax records. Then I find a sealed envelope at the bottom of a filing box. It has no name, just 1984 written in black ink. I open it carefully. Inside is a legal document I haven't seen before. A handwritten clause. Clara reads will. It says, in the event of Diane's death, or her inability to care for the property, Willow House is to pass to her eldest child. My stomach drops. Diane never owned it outright, and she never told anyone Michael survived. Which means Michael actually might have a legal claim after all. I read the line in Clara's will again, even though I already know what it says. In the event of Diane's death, or her inability to care for the property, Willow House is to pass to her eldest child. That's it. No legal jargon. Just a sentence scribbled in neat cursive, signed and dated with an old notary stamp. And it changes everything. Michael Reed really does have a claim. And the worst part, my parents might have known all along. Maybe not the full extent, but enough. Enough to know that this house wasn't theirs to pass on, sell, or even fix up like some guild project. It belonged to someone else. All along, I sit back on the floor, my legs numb, the attic colder than I remembered. This house was built on secrets. Dad's affair, Diane's forced adoption, Michael's existence. It's not just a house anymore, it's a time bomb. And now I'm sitting on it, with Ethan asleep in a hospital bed, thinking Willow House is going to be his someday. I take pictures of the document, then tuck it into a folder, seal it up, and head downstairs. My phone buzzes as I get to the bottom of the steps. Jake, call me. Urgent. I don't hesitate. I hit dial. He answers fast. I've been trying to reach you. I found Clara's will. I say before he can start. Michael's in it. If it's legit, he's not just a maybe, he's the heir. I figured, Jake says, his voice low. That's what I was trying to tell you. But there's more. I pause. What? I did some digging. Talked to someone Dad used to work with. Turns out, back in '85, there was an attempt to file a claim on the house by someone using the name M. Reed. What? Are you serious? Dead serious, Jake says. Dad shut it down. Paid someone off. The paperwork was never filed, but it was there. He knew. I feel like I've been punched. He buried it. Yeah, and now it's come back. I don't go back to the hospital right away. I know Ethan's safe for now, and I need to deal with this before it spirals more. I text Lila.me. I need to talk to Michael. Alone. Can you get him to Willow House tonight? She replies within a minute. Lila. Yes. PM. I'll make sure he's alone. I spend the next hour organizing everything: Dad's letter, Clara's will, the deed, the folder with the pictures. I even print extra copies just in case. By 7:55. I'm standing on the porch. Willow House is quiet, wrapped in that eerie Port Haven stillness. The sky's a soft gray. The oak tree in the yard barely moves. At exactly 8. Michael walks up the gravel path. No Crane, no Vince, just him. He looks older tonight, tired. You said you wanted to talk, he says. Yeah, come in. We sit at the dining room table. Same place where Mom and Dad told me they were selling. Feels like a lifetime ago. I slide the folder across to him. What's this? He asks. Proof. Clara's will. You're not just in the running, Michael. You were supposed to inherit this house. He reads it slowly, carefully. I watch his hands shake just slightly. This is real, he says, barely above a whisper. Jake confirmed it. I tell him. Dad knew about your claim. He shut it down. Paid someone off to keep your name out of the records. Michael doesn't speak for a long time. He just sits there, staring at the page like it's something alive. Finally, he looks up. You didn't have to show me this. No, I say. But Ethan deserves better than lies. And honestly, so do you. He exhales, slumping slightly in the chair. I spent years thinking Diane lied to me. She told me stories about this place, about my dad, about how she wanted us to live here. I thought it was grief, delusion, but she wasn't wrong. She wasn't, I say. And maybe Dad wasn't either. Maybe he did think she lost a baby. But at some point, he found out, and he chose to stay quiet. Michael leans forward, elbows on the table. So what now? You want to fight this in court? I don't want to fight at all, I say. But I can't walk away either. Ethan, this place is all I've got left to give him. Michael's quiet again. Then, what if we split it? I blink. What? He looks at me, serious. Sell the house. You keep half. Use it for Ethan. I'll take the rest. Walk away. I don't want to own a place filled with memories I never got. I just want it to mean something. I stare at him, processing. You'd walk away? He shrugs. I grew up with nothing. I can live without it. But this conversation, we're the first people in this story, to be honest. I nod slowly. All right, deal. He stands. I'll tell Crane we're dropping the case. You can contact a realtor. I'll call Lila. We shake hands. And for the first time, I feel like the house might actually let go. The next morning, I go back to the hospital. Ethan's doing better. He opens his eyes when I walk in. Hey, Mom. He says, voice groggy. Hey, buddy. I say, sitting beside him. I've got news. His eyebrows raise. We're going to move, but it's okay. We're going to sell the house, and we'll use the money to make a new home. A better one. He doesn't seem upset, just tired. Okay, as long as we're together. That's all he cares about. Us, not the building. A week later, Willow House is listed. Lila handles it, keeping things professional, even though I still don't fully trust her. We don't talk much, but she does what she says she will. Crane disappears from the picture, probably annoyed that he lost his payday. Jake sticks around, just long enough to gloat, then skips town again. No surprise there. My parents? They don't say much. Mom cries when I tell her about Clara's will. Dad just stares at the floor. I don't forgive them, but I understand now. That's enough. Michael drives back to Portland after we sign the papers. He doesn't say goodbye. And I don't blame him. We both got what we needed. The day the sale closes, I stand in the Willow House living room for the last time. Ethan's asleep in the car waiting. Everything's empty now, no boxes, no furniture, just dust and light and silence. I walk to the front porch and stand under the eaves, looking out over the gravel drive. Same view I had as a kid, waiting for Dad to get home. Now it's mine, not the house. The truth, I whisper. Thank you, Diane, for keeping the letters, for not letting the past disappear. Then I lock the door and walk away. It's been 3 weeks since we left Willow House behind. I didn't think it would feel like anything other than heartbreak. But oddly, it feels like air. Like breathing for the first time in years. Letting go of that place didn't just release Ethan and me, it unchained everything that had been dragging me down. We're living in a short-term rental now. It's nothing fancy. 2 bedrooms, small kitchen, bare walls. But it's quiet, clean, peaceful. Ethan's been home from the hospital for a few days now. Still tired, still on meds, but stronger every day. I hear him laugh again. And that sound, that's the only kind of home I need. We eat cereal in our pajamas, watch cartoons in the afternoon. Sometimes he'll ask about the old house. I keep it simple. We're moving forward. I tell him. He doesn't push. The money from the sale hit our account 2 days ago. After closing fees, taxes, splitting it with Michael, there's enough. Enough to breathe, to rebuild. I sit at the kitchen table going over bills, hospital statements, and school forms when my phone buzzes. It's a Portland number. I answer. Hello? Olivia Thompson? Yes. This is Ellen Carter. I was a friend of Diane Reed's. I believe you've been looking into Michael's side of the story. I sit up straighter. Yes. Lila mentioned you once. You helped Diane after everything? I did. And Michael too. I heard how things ended with the house. I just wanted to say thank you. For what? For not turning it into a war. For choosing peace when you had every reason not to. I let that sit. It wasn't easy, but it was the right thing. Diane would have been proud. She carried a lot of guilt. Not just about Michael, but about the house, your father. All of it. I used to think she was the other woman, I admit. But it's not that black and white, is it? No, Ellen says softly. It never is. Later that evening, Lila calls. I hesitate before answering. We've spoken a few times since the sale, cordial, not warm. I haven't decided how I really feel about her. Hey, she says. Can we meet? About what? Closure. That's not a word I'm sure I believe in anymore. But I agree. We meet at the pier the next morning. Same spot where she first told me she was in the will. Seems like forever ago. She's there when I arrive, leaning on the railing, arms crossed against the wind. I didn't think you'd come. She says. I wasn't sure either. I admit. We stand in silence for a moment. The water's calm today. The fog hasn't rolled in yet. You hate me? She asks, not looking at me. I don't know. I say honestly, I hate how all of it played out. But you saved me from Vince that night. And you got Michael to back off. That counts for something. She nods. I didn't know about Michael until a year ago. My mom told me on her deathbed. I was shocked, angry, confused. I didn't know how to process it. And then Crane called. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't trust myself. I didn't know if I'd end up on your side or his. That's fair, I say. But you were my best friend. I needed you. I know. Her voice cracks. And I failed you. We fall quiet again. Finally, she says, I'm leaving Port Haven. I blink. Really? Yeah, selling the agency. Going to Seattle. My aunt offered me a job out there. New start. Something like that. We hug awkwardly before parting. It's not a full goodbye, but it's something. That night, Ethan curls up beside me on the couch, his head on my arm, cartoons playing. Quietly. Mom? Yeah? Are we gonna be okay? I look down at him. We already are. He smiles. Can we paint my new room blue? Like sky blue? You can paint it any color you want. Even black with dragons? Let's maybe talk about that one. He laughs. I pull the blanket tighter around us. This right here is everything I fought for. A week later, I get a letter in the mail. No return address. Inside is a photo, a black and white snapshot of Willow House from the 1980s. There's a note written on the back. This house broke people, but it also gave them something to fight for. Let that be the story you tell. Me, no signature, just the initial. I tuck it in the box where I've kept all the letters, Diane's notes, Dad's apology, Clara's will. I don't need to open them again, but I'm not ready to throw them away either. The next few months pass quietly. Ethan gets stronger. I start freelance writing again, just part-time, but it's enough. We move into a new place across town. A 2-story duplex with Space for a garden. Ethan paints his room sky blue with stars. No dragons. Yet, my parents visit once, bringing groceries and too many apologies. It's awkward. But we try. Jake sends me a postcard from Mexico. It just says, "Still running, but rooting for you, classic Jake." Michael and I don't speak. Again, I hear through Ellen that he started a nonprofit helping foster kids. That tracks. He's trying to be better than the past that shaped him. Like I am. One afternoon, while folding laundry, I pull out a shirt of Ethan's and find something scribbled on the label in blue marker. E+M. I stare at it. Ethan. What's this? He peeks in. Ethan and Mom. Like a team name. I smile. Best team ever. 6 months later, I publish a story online. A personal essay about loss, secrets, and home, not the building kind, the real kind. I call it The House We Let Go of. It goes a little viral. People comment about their own family secrets. Their own house is filled with things left unsaid, and in the comment section, one catches my eye. Username: mread1983. Thank you for telling the truth with grace. I stare at it for a long time. Then I hit reply.me. Thank you for letting me. So that's the story. Not perfect, not easy, but real. And if you're still here after all this, thank you for following along, for caring about Ethan and me, for listening while we sorted through the mess. If this reminded you of your own story, leave a comment. I'd love to hear it. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. It helps more than you know. And if you want to keep following our journey, hit that subscribe button. This might be the end of Willow House, but it's not the end of us. We're just getting started. Life after Willow House isn't perfect, but it's solid, real. I'm not walking on eggshells anymore, or lying awake wondering what bombshell is going to drop next. For once, there's calm. Ethan's at school now only half days, per the doctor's orders. He's still got that sleepy look some mornings and gets tired after lunch, but he's healing. His appetite's back, and so is his sarcasm. I miss that more than I realized. Me. I'm freelancing from home, taking short writing gigs, blogs, newsletters, product descriptions. Nothing glamorous, but it pays the bills and lets me be around for Ethan. It's not Boston, but then again, I'm not that Olivia anymore. We've started a new tradition. Wednesday walks. After school, we walk to this small park near our new place. There's a creaky bench under a crooked tree where Ethan likes to sit and ask me the weirdest questions. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck? Things like that. I always go with the 1 horse-sized duck. Easier to reason with, I say. He rolls his eyes every time, but he laughs, and that's everything. One Wednesday, while Ethan's at school and I'm working on a blog post about kitchen faucets, don't ask, I get an email. Subject: Ray. Willow House feature, Port Haven local. I open it and read, "Hi Olivia. We're running a feature on Port Haven's historical homes and came across the Willow House sale records. Your story stood out. Would you be open to an interview?" Marcy Whitaker, staff writer, Port Haven local. At first, my gut says absolutely not. No more digging, no more attention. But then I think about what Diane went through, and how long people kept that story buried. Maybe someone needs to say it, the whole truth. I reply, "Sure, I'll talk, but only off the record until I decide otherwise." Marcy replies within the hour, and we agree to meet at the cafe near Main Street the next day. The place is called the Driftwood Bean. It's got chipped mugs, too many nautical decorations, and a barista who looks like she hates everyone equally. Marcy's already there, sipping iced tea and typing furiously on her laptop. She's in her 30s, sharp-eyed, wearing a plaid blazer that doesn't quite match her skirt. She smiles as I approach. "Olivia, thanks for meeting me." We shake hands, and I sit across from her. "I wasn't sure if I'd hear back," she says. "I wasn't sure if I'd reply." She nods. "Fair." We talk for over an hour. I tell her everything from Ethan's accident, to the hospital nights, to finding Diane's letters and Clara's will. I even mention the attic, the photo from Michael, and the final deal to sell. She just listens, scribbling notes but never interrupting. When I finish, She leans back. That's a hell of a story. Yeah, I say. It didn't feel like one while it was happening. It felt like drowning. She closes her notebook. Do you want your name attached to it? I hesitate. Let me think about it. I'll let you know before you run anything. That night, Ethan and I are curled up on the couch, a blanket wrapped around us. When I bring it up, someone wants to write about Willow House, I say. He turns his head. Are you gonna do it? I don't know yet. He's quiet for a second. It's your story, Mom, but it's kinda mine too, right? Yeah, it is. I think you should tell it, he says. All of it, even the bad stuff. Otherwise, it just stays in your head and makes you feel weird. I laugh. You're way too smart for 10, he shrugs. I had a lot of hospital time to think. The next day, I email Marcy. You can use my name. Just make sure it's honest. Not dramatic, not sugar-coated, just real. A week later, the story runs. It's online first, then in the Sunday print edition. Headline: The House We Let Go. One family's journey through secrets, legacy, and letting go. There's a picture of Willow House, one I didn't know they had. It looks beautiful, but hollow. The piece is surprisingly gentle. It talks about Diane and Tom's relationship, the will, the hidden heir, and the emotional toll of holding onto something built on pain. It includes a short quote from Michael and a note that the new buyers are a couple with 2 kids who plan to restore the home. Make it happy again. I read the comments under the article. Most are kind. This story made me cry. Thank you for sharing it. We all have a Willow House. Ethan sounds like an incredible kid. He is. One comment catches me off guard. Username: J. Thompson1986. Wasn't easy reading this. But I'm proud of you. You turned pain into something honest. You always were the better one. Jake. Of course he had to sneak in. I don't reply, but I smile. That weekend, I run into Mrs. Hawthorne outside the grocery store. She's carrying a basket of tomatoes and glaring at the cart return guy, Olivia Thompson. She says, adjusting her sunglasses, "Didn't think you'd stick around after all that mess." Yeah, well, some of us like to finish things. She grunts. I read the article, and you made your point. About time someone did. She eyes me carefully. Your dad still won't look me in the eye. Maybe he shouldn't. She nods once. You did right by Diane. That counts for something. Then she walks off, tomatoes rattling in her basket. Ethan's back to full days at school by the time October rolls around. He joins the science club and starts practicing for the school play. He's not acting, just helping with lights and props. But you'd think he was directing a Broadway show by how serious he takes it. I watch him from the doorway sometimes while he's building miniature trees out of cardboard. He catches me once. You okay? Yeah, just proud. One afternoon, as we're driving home, he asks, are we ever gonna go back? To see Willow House, I mean? I pause. Do you want to? Maybe. Just to see what it looks like now, okay? I say. Someday. I'm not ready, but maybe someday I will be. A month later, I get a small envelope in the mail. No return address again. Just a note inside. Found this in a drawer at the house. Thought you should have it. Folded inside is a photo I've never seen. Ethan as a baby, wrapped in a blanket, sleeping in front of the Willow House fireplace. Lila must have taken it back then. I stare at it for a long time. Then I pin it to our fridge. He belongs wherever we are. December comes fast in Port Haven. The trees are bare, the wind's sharper, and Christmas decorations start popping up way too early. Ethan's already made a list the size of a pillowcase, mostly filled with Lego sets, snacks, and a weird request for a pet frog named Lightning. I tell him we'll think about it. We've settled into our new home. It's not flashy, but it's warm. Ours. The walls are filling up with pictures. Ethan taped his first school report card to the fridge, even though it's covered in average grades. It's just a starting point, he said with a shrug. That kid's got more grades than I ever had. I haven't spoken to Michael again. Not because of anger, more because there's just nothing else to say. We closed the chapter we shared. That was enough. Mom and Dad have been trying harder. They visit every other Sunday, usually with something homemade or store-bought pretending to be. We don't talk about Willow House. We don't talk about Diane. But we do talk about Ethan. About small things. About what's ahead. It's progress. The Saturday before Christmas, I'm in the middle of wrapping gifts when the doorbell rings. I open it to find Lila. She's dressed in a long gray coat, holding a tin of cookies and a small potted plant. A peace offering, I guess. Can I come in for a minute? She asks. I nod and step aside. She looks around the living room and smiles. It's nice here, cozy. Still smells like paint and takeout, I say. She sets the cookies down on the counter. So, Seattle's been good. Slow start, but I needed the change. I'm glad, I say. You look better. She looks at me quiet for a moment. I wanted to say thank you. For what? For not turning your back on me completely. I wouldn't have blamed you. I shrug. We all made choices. Some bad, some worse. But we're still here. I keep thinking about that night at Willow House, she says. The way we were all sitting there like strangers. I used to know everything about you. Now it feels like I barely recognize you. I could say the same, I reply. She smiles. That's probably a good thing. We grew up. There's a pause. Then she says, I have something for Ethan. It's in the car. I follow her outside. She opens the back seat and pulls out a large sketchbook and a box of colored pencils. I know he loves art, she says, and I owed him something. You didn't have to. I wanted to. I take the gifts, heart softening a little. Tell him Merry Christmas for me, she adds. I will. We say goodbye. No long hugs, no deep emotions. Just two women who walked through fire and came out standing. That's enough. Christmas morning is calm. Snowflakes fall gently outside while Ethan rips into wrapping paper like a tornado. He gets everything he asked for except the frog. That one's still on hold. He hugs me tight after opening the sketchbook. Lila brought it, I say. He nods. I'll draw her something. You don't have to. I want to. Later. We sip hot chocolate on the couch while watching old holiday movies. I don't remember the last time the day felt this simple. The week after Christmas, I visit the cemetery. It's the first time I've been there since Diane's name came back into our lives. Her headstone is plain. Just her name, dates, and a small engraving. She loved hard. I stand there for a while, unsure of what I came to say. The wind's cold and snow crunches under my boots. I used to hate you, I say out loud. Thought you were the villain in my mom's story, but you were just part of the mess. Like the rest of us, I place a small white flower on the stone. I hope Michael finds peace, and I hope you know I didn't sell the house just to get rid of you. I let it go so I could finally live. I turn and walk back to the car. By January. Life has found a rhythm again. I take a new writing job, steady work for a local company. Boring stuff. Mostly real estate blurbs and town event listings. But I enjoy the routine, the predictability. No more waking up wondering what storm's coming. Ethan starts rehearsals for the spring play. He's officially on the stage crew, which he takes way too seriously. Every day, he tells me about light cues and prop issues like he's running Broadway. I eat it up. One night, as I'm doing dishes, he walks in with his sketchbook. "Wanna see something?" he asks. Always. He flips to a page and shows me a drawing of Willow House, perfectly detailed, right down to the wraparound porch and the oak tree out front. "You did this from memory?" I ask. "Yeah, I didn't want to forget it. Just wanted to remember it in a good way." I sit down and study it. The house looks peaceful in his version. No shadows, no broken pieces, just a warm, soft place. "You okay, Mom?" he asks suddenly. I look at him. "Yeah, I think I really am." One last thing. I kept the box. The one with Diane's letters, Clara's will, Dad's apology. It's in my closet, tucked behind a stack of scarves I never wear. I don't open it anymore, but I keep it. Not because I need the pain, but because I need the reminder. That telling the truth matters, that healing doesn't always mean fixing things. It sometimes means walking away from them with your head held high, that letting go is its own kind of victory. So yeah, that's it. That's the story. We're not perfect. We still argue about bedtime. I still burn dinner once a week. Ethan still leaves socks everywhere. But we're good. We're free. And if you've stuck around through this whole ride, thank you. For listening. For caring. For giving me a space to turn chaos into clarity. If this story helped you feel seen or even just less alone, go ahead and hit like. Leave a comment, share your own story. I read every single one. And if you want to keep following along our ups, downs, and in betweens, hit that subscribe button. Not every house is a home, but we found ours anyway.